Hey guys, looking for new zombie games? Then you've come to the right place. We've started the list with Dying Light the Beast, the newest game in Techland's zombie survival franchise, officially announced during Gamescom 2024. The game is set in Castor Woods, a post-apocalyptic region that used to be a popular tourist destination. Now the place is devastated and overrun by zombies, offering a dark and challenging setting for players to explore. Dying Light the Beast is described as a spin-off of the franchise, with a more compact format compared to previous games. It offers about 18 hours of gameplay, reflecting a growing trend in the AAA gaming industry to create shorter, but equally impactful experiences. The game retains the classic elements of the series, such as parkour, visceral combat, and open-world exploration, but with the addition of Crane's new abilities, which promise to further diversify the gameplay. Zeverland is a post-apocalyptic survival game that promises to bring an innovative and immersive experience to fans of the genre. The plot of Zeverland takes place in a world devastated after the impact of a mysterious meteor. This catastrophic event transformed the planet into a hostile place where red rain and horrendous creatures dominate the landscape. Players will need to explore infested and dangerous cities to find resources and survive. Players must scour the environment for essential supplies to survive, such as food, water, and crafting materials. The game encourages alliances between players, allowing them to work together to face the challenges of the post-apocalyptic world. Zeverland stands out for reimagining the zombie survival genre, bringing a collaborative and innovative approach. The dark setting and crafting and customization elements make the game an interesting experience. State of Decay 3 is the highly anticipated sequel to the open-world survival franchise that puts players in a world ravaged by zombies. The game explores the fragility of human life in a hostile environment, where resources are scarce and the constant threat of zombie infection looms over everyone. The game promises to introduce new gameplay mechanics and a deeper storyline, focusing on community building and relationships between survivors. Undead Labs promises a more complex experience, with more developed characters and decisions that directly impact the player's fate. The game promises a unique and engaging experience, focusing on narrative, survival, and community building. The State of Decay franchise has already gained a considerable fan base, and the expectation for the new edition is high.
Every sacrifice we make matters, and will never be forgotten.
Hunger is a first-person shooter extraction horror and slasher game with RPG elements, developed by Good Fun and scheduled for early access release in 2025. The game is set in Napoleonic Europe, after a plague that caused the apocalypse. Players take on the role of survivors, exploring the devastated world to collect resources, fight monsters and other players, and return to a safe haven. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, where a deadly plague has ravaged Napoleonic Europe. Players must survive in a world full of dangers, including monsters called Hunger and other survivors. The goal is to explore the world, collect resources, and return to a safe haven called Chateau.
You too possess the same gluttony that led to the end. I suspect we shall soon find out.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is a cooperative shooter inspired by the 80s, promising plenty of action, monsters, and a nostalgic atmosphere. The game's plot revolves around a disastrous experiment to harness the power of the Earth's core, which results in the release of a terrifying entity called Sludge God. This cosmic abomination begins to transform the environment, converting the soil into toxic mud and living beings into zombie monsters. Players take on the role of a group of heroes who must face this threat and save the world. The game is described as an action co-op, where players work together to face hordes of zombies and other monsters. The gameplay promises to be frenetic and full of intense moments, with a feel that harkens back to the horror and action films of the 80s, a trademark of John Carpenter.
It's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt to false survive.
Patient 001 is a psychological horror FPS game where you must escape from an asylum. Manage your inventory wisely, find procedurally placed items and clues, solve puzzles, and defeat the boss who imprisoned you in the asylum. The player must escape a distorted asylum fighting zombies and fixing things. As you delve deeper, the lines between the game and reality begin to blur, and I am your only guide. Strange experiments are being conducted in a psychiatric asylum, turning patients into nightmarish creatures. You, a police officer, were sent to uncover the truth. But, as you investigate, you will discover that this journey may be your last, with horrors lurking in every shadow. The House of the Dead 2 Remake is a modern update of the classic rail shooter game originally released in 1998. Developed by Megapixel Studio and published by Forever Entertainment, the remake promises to bring a nostalgic experience with updated graphics and gameplay while remaining true to the spirit of the original game. The remake will feature updated visuals to take advantage of the potential of modern platforms, offering a more immersive visual experience. In addition to the graphics, the soundtrack has also been revamped to meet current standards, while maintaining the essence of the original. Despite the improvements, the game will preserve the classic rail shooter gameplay, where players follow a predetermined path while facing hordes of enemies. The release date is scheduled for the second quarter of 2025 between March and May. Wanderlost is a survival RPG with pixel art graphics developed by Eli Siegel in partnership with publisher Critivo. The game combines elements of Harvest Moon and The Walking Dead, creating a unique experience that blends survival, exploration, and building in a post-apocalyptic world infested with zombies. In Wanderlost, the player is thrown into a post-apocalyptic world full of zombies and wildlife. The goal is to survive, find food and water, build shelter, and eventually master the environment. The game offers a variety of activities, including resource gathering, farming, fishing, hunting, trap building, fortification, exploration, and looting. Wanderlost stands out for its unique approach to the post-apocalyptic survival genre. Instead of focusing on darkness and despair, the game presents a vibrant and optimistic world with a touch of humor. Nakwon. Last Paradise is a survival game in a post-apocalyptic world with zombies developed by Nakwon. The game is set in Seoul, Korea, a city with few resources and many hiding places in its buildings and alleys. You play as an ordinary human who needs to use their senses to survive and protect themselves from zombies. The game is a third-person shooter that emphasizes visual and strategic elements. Zombies are attracted to sounds and chase humans. You need to take cover, move silently, lure zombies, distract them, and run away. A single gunshot will attract all nearby zombies, so be careful. In a world without laws and rules, humans are the last ones you can trust. Survival depends on killing others and looting their belongings. You need to be careful with everything and trust no one. Holstin is a psychological survival horror game set in the 90s in an isolated Polish town taken over by a sinister presence. The game puts players in the role of an investigator who travels to the town in search of his missing friend named Bartek. The story takes place at the end of November 1992, when the town is consumed by a terrible calamity that corrupts everything and everyone. The residents seem to be caught between life and death, with their minds slowly surrendering to madness. The player must explore the town, interrogate the residents, and confront demonic manifestations to unravel the truth behind the sinister presence. The game features a mix of isometric exploration and third-person combat. The player must scour the town for supplies and confront distorted monsters. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you next time.